Mwendo saa 3 baada ya shajara
Hello, good morning. Say good morning. Say good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Niggy.
My name is Ligi. This is Ligi, and my name is Peter Ngeno. Coming live on to talk about TBC, and we are here. Say hi. How are you?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm Ligi. Yeah. On TBC and get to understand what is in the blog. So there is this what we call exceptions to the policy limitation of 100 TBC only coming from cookie rewards poster. So in this says, in this article, I will cover why some exceptions will be made policy of the maximum amount of TBC coins that can be given to an individual through cookie rewards is 100 lifetime total TBC coins. 100 lifetime total TBC coins. So if we check on this link, it will take you exactly to this cookie
Uncle, give me see.
you can get to understand this TBC. Yeah. Before I get into those exemptions, I need to make a few things very clear. TBC is not a currency with a mission. It is a mission with a currency. When you study the blog, when you study the public notice, this becomes more clear. The notice is here. Also, you should know a legal structure has been put in place where all 1 billion TBC coins are in a master trust, and sub-trust is created for every TBC wallet and the coins they hold beneath the master trust. You don't own TBC. Before you get a send button in your TBC wallet, you must pass the send button test, right? Let's look at number 2. Question number 2 in that the send button test, it says, because we are a private community, we are entitled to self-regulation with our centralized coin network, and discounters of our coin will have their send turned off by admin. Other abusive behavior within our community could also result in the same thing. If members' send button is turned off, they'll be given a period of time to reform, and then they can get their send button turned back on. We have seen that decentralized coins tend to lose their value because of a small number of people discounting them will drive the price down sharply and ultimately create loss for all users of those coins. A coin such as ours, which is based on the principle of abundance, requires a responsible admin to regulate its use centrally. The best way to view our coin is as property, and each number is steward over their portion. This is implied within the membership agreement. Are you allowed to transact with our coin at any price of your choosing? The multiple choice is number one is no. Our coin part of private community, and you have to conduct all transactions at the published current price only. Then option number two, it says yes, you purchase the coin and it's your property to use as you wish at whatever price you want. So the correct that is no. Our coin is part of a private community. And you have to conduct all transactions at the published current price only. Pay close attention to these sentences. The best way to view our coin is as community property, and each member is a steward over their portion. A steward means somebody who has been entrusted with wealth or an item or property. So we are steward. This is implied with the membership agreement. Once you understand how the subtrust protects you and the whole TBC community, you will get very excited. Let me give you an example of the principle here. The principle is to own nothing and control much. To a poor person, this may not make sense, but rich people already understand this principle. So in this example, there are two dogs. A poor man owns a dog and licensed the dog under his own name, and the dog bites a wealthy man. The wealthy man sues the poor man in court and wins and garnishes his wages to pay off the judgment, and the poor man becomes poor. The second dog belongs to a trust a rich man set up for that, and the only thing in that trust is the dog. The dog bites a poor woman, and she thinks she will suddenly become rich by suing the rich man, but the case is dismissed because the rich man does not own the dog and there is no money in the trust. The point to this example is the legal structure of TBC and don't obsess over not owning TBC. The problem with the current financial structure is corruption. Has completely taken over, allowing the hoarding of wealth away from the mass majority. It is pure evil that 1% own 99% of all the wealth in the world, leaving about 50% of the world population in abject poverty. What a waste of human potential. Strip away the means of a man, and that man is likely to lead a meaningless life. Hope you can see how evil it is. This is the reason TBC has been forging a new path away. We are going our own way, centered on truths, not lies. 100 TBC coins is worth a great deal today, and will become massive once we reach our objective of 1 billion members. We have 3,309,852 members at the moment of writing this article. So that means each TBC coin is worth 3,309,852 coins. And when we use this third-party calculator, it shows 8.4. Shows $8.4 million. $8.4 million. Times that by 100 TBC coins, and that equals 849,666,590. Then when we reach the objective of 1 billion members, those same 100 TBC coins will will be worth 1 billion. And process is rough. It is roughly 50 billion dollars. You can conclude the abilities that come with having stewardship. TBC billionaire are exactly 1 billion TBC coins. If it was too easy to get 100 TBC coins, then once 10 million members collected them, the admin wallet would run to zero prematurely, and that would be the end of cookie rewards. And without further incentive to offer, we most likely would not be able to get to 1 billion members. Frankly, to manage to hit this limitation, you shouldn't be concerned about getting even more TBC coins. You should have the million members. No is to your coins to 250 billion. Massive steward. The TBC community will expect much from you. TBC has never meant to be a mission of personal gain only. It's never meant to be a mission of personal gain only. We do want to raise all members up. In the end, you will a TBC millionaire. Simple transaction of 40 grains worth of crinkles will result in TBC millionaire status, and it doesn't get easier than that to become a millionaire. What I find interesting is the notion that today you could do such transaction and then immediately go through the redemption process, and out of sheer ignorance, some people think they should be able to cash it all in. Lol. Where do these people think is coming from? We are in the distribution phase. People in the millions such as that would only be available once a mature full-blown TBC/Kringle economy established. Think of the distribution phase like a condominium like scrapper being built, and condos are being sold long before they are built. People literally are buying air at first. Maybe the foundation has been built and the people are buying condos on the 10th floor already. The 10th floor won't exist for at least a year, and people feel like they are a bargain with their purchase. They are not wrong. So I think clear up a lot there before getting into exceptions on TBC cookie rewards limit. All relate to building up a membership. Let's look at how a member could even get to this in the first place. Broadcasters certainly have the advantage here. certainly have the advantage here. Broadcasters get 1 million cookies for every send button meeting they view. They would have to view 10,000 meetings to hit the limit of 100 TBC coins. That's not likely to ever happen. They also get 1 million cookies for every do, and again it will take 10,000 to hit the limit. So meetings and broadcasts are not going to ever reach that limit alone. Broadcasters do get 100 million cookies, exchange of 40 grains, and it would cost about $10,000 worth of crinkles to hit the limit. That happening in few cases, but in principle, we don't want to exceed the 100 TBC limit based solely on large purchases. That was the main reason I wrote the article saying cookie rewards is not available for institutions. A basic uh, millionaire member that doesn't broadcast gets 100,000 cookies for the same transaction. It would cost them $10 million worth of TBC, the limit. So far, there are not the ways members would even hit the limit. Builders that sponsor 100 new members get 1 billion cookies for each set of 100. So a big builder that signs up new members could hit this limit. Unfortunately, scammers have swarmed around the TBC community, taking advantage wherever they can. In the last 2 redemption periods, all rewards and email verification was all that was required. Have you noticed most of the recruiting services around TBC dried up and went away once membership was based on paid status and not just email verified? Admin has seen a lot of obvious fraud coming from these recruiting services, and the change to paid status corrected that situation. So if you have earned enough cookie rewards that exceeds the high limit based on signups and send in a support asking for an exception, they better be real referrals. For now, if you see over 1,000 paid referrals and ask for an exception, I can accept that and issue the addition TBC coins as earned the reward. But if you try to scam and win by claiming all of your email verified apps are real, then you will need to prove to become paid and have them complete their profiles. A true builder doesn't sign up people and immediately abandon them. Being sponsor comes with some responsibility to encourage their recruits to fully plug into the TBC community. We are turning people into millionaires and billionaires. For goodness sake, why wouldn't they want to fully plug in? I'm just going to say it. If you think you you deserve to get 100 TBC coins for half-assed job on your part, you are crazy. On the other hand, if you have heard the blog, I have shown you many ways to be a big builder, and you can get thousands of new members in paid status and plugged into the TBC community. And for those kind of builders, I really don't have a limit for you. In support ticket and make your case. In paid referrals and they have complete profiles, then you fit into the exception, and admin will reward you beyond the limitation. Many of you run large meetings and have set up a good system, thousands of people. Or perhaps you have a number of merchants and they pass out your business cards. I could go along with that as long as you upload each that sign up. Some sales funnels could also produce thousands of paid referrals. So, like I said, all exceptions relate to memberships in TBC. We will look at each situation on a case-by-case basis. This article will be required reading if you present through the help desk, and we will investigate. Honesty is the best. So this was the article. I just felt we should go through it together to learn something on owning the TBC coins. We don't own TBC, we are just stewards. And in stewardship, there is a responsibility that comes with stewardship. Exemptions. So for those who are doing broadcast, they have great advantage whereby add their cookies and be able to get more, be able to more cookies. For every study, the broadcaster can up to 1 million cookie when they send button meeting, and when they do referrals, also they get up to 1,000,000 times the basic person. Encourage every person who is a broadcaster. You can encourage them to do broadcast so that at least they can, apart from reaching many other people with broadcast, they can also